Behavior Selection Worksheet. So we've reached the final stage of behavior mapping. So go ahead and fill out the last worksheet in your behavior triage workbook, which is a behavior selection. Okay, so remember, 3 behaviors maximum, which is clearly shown on the worksheet. We're going to also use our severity level worksheet to help us. And should we separate or group behaviors? We'll go over that. And reevaluate groups if one behavior lessens dramatically. So remember that as you're going along tracking behaviors. So here's some example of grouped behaviors. And also on the right side we'll do separate. So the grouped behaviors, you could say physical aggression, hitting with closed fist, kicking, and climbing. And remember, for each one of these you'll want to have a behavioral definition that you've come out with that's observable and measurable. Self-stimulatory. There's 2 different categories for this. For me, I have self-stimulatory that I would consider that can harm the child, or others, and self-stimulatory that does not do any physical harm to anybody. So there is rocking, flapping, rapid movement of an object or a body part. So they could, my flapping is a little bit specific, and these are behaviors you'll see a lot with children with autism. So, but the toe walking, picking at things, or spinning until they fall, those are examples of all behaviors that could lead to an injury. Toe walking, if done constantly, can actually do damage and have issues with the child walking. Picking at their skin and their body can cause different infections, especially staph infections. And spinning until they fall, obviously that's a danger when they fall down, or if they do, depending on where they do it. So sometimes flapping can become so extensive that the child can start to injure their hands, but that would be up to you to determine. Non-compliance, social situations, transitions, appearance, chores. So if you are just really focused on several different things, and this is a way we could group them. But we do need to be specific with the non-compliance or the self-stimulatory. So verbal aggression, raised voice, profanity, threatens to kill, threatens to harm. And one of the reasons why it's so great to group is because when you can also be able to see, okay, well, verbal aggression. Well, after about a month of doing progress with this program, your child is no longer threatening to kill people or threatening to harm themselves. However, they still raise their voice and they still say profanities. Well, I feel like that's progress. That is definitely progress the child is making. And so with that, with having it noted in the grouping rather than just saying verbal aggression, this gives us an opportunity, because when there's so many things in one particular behavior, there is an opportunity for separate items within one group to lessen more quickly. I apologize. So on the separate side, maybe your child just has hitting with an open fist. Okay, obviously different than a punch with a closed fist. Threats to harm themselves. That could be just one specific one, and each one is unique to you. So refusal, homework, attend school, personal hygiene, chores, leaving a store. Again, I have refusal in that list there, refusal, and then you would just be focusing on specifically refusal to attend school. So if that's a really specific thing, or refusal for, you have a small child and they never will leave a store unless they are having another behavior, they flop down to the floor. And then you would actually need to separate that one, refusal to leave a store, and then also is there physical behavior, that also goes with that, but you also want to kind of have separate. Drug use would be an individual one. Biting others, self, or both. So you could be really specific. They only bite others, they only bite themselves, they bite everybody. Bangs head on wall could be a separate behavior that you place there. Appearance, refuses to wear clothes selected by the parent, or parents shaves off one eyebrow. I'm using these as examples. If you are really frustrated because your kid's just not dressing the way that you want, versus you have a child who's shaving off one eyebrow, or writing "I hate you," shaved into their head. That's pretty specific versus more of a personal preference with refuses to wear clothes selected by the parent. So, and again, these are all examples of how they could be grouped. They do not have to be grouped the way that I'm doing them. It is how you feel comfortable and what works. Go with your gut, and you can always write in pencil and make changes. Runs off or elopement, spitting, and many, many other behaviors that you would feel are ones you want to work on. So the decision is yours, but generally we're going to go with the severity level 1 first and work our way down. And then if it is more of a personal preference at the very bottom, those will be ones we can also work on when we work on our needs assessment for your child and yourself and your personality uniquenesses. So we've completed behavior mapping, and then we will take that to go ahead and go into observations and data tracking. So if you're ready to take a break, go for it. Or if you'd like to just hop on onto the next lecture, I'm ready for you. I think I'm ready for a mental break, though. This is such a beautiful picture. So beautiful. Okay, a little bit more of a mental break for, on the masculine side, or, I try not to just